whatever you do, you have to do your best every single time. You have to respect everybody coming into your life.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Convo Couch. Today we've got Monica Tu, the founder and director of Black Diamonds Property Concierge. Thank you for coming on today, Monica.
Thank you so much for having me. Started in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So in Melbourne, I did all kinds of jobs like restaurant, babysit, selling cosmetics, selling insurance, and everything.
Okay.
So when I came to Sydney in 1992, so that's where I found a job in a computer shop, right? And on the weekends, I work like 7 days a week and start selling like floppy disks. I think you must have read that one.
Yeah.
In the computer markets.
Right, okay.
And for many years. But that's actually built me up to understand, about people, language, and also a lot of basic skills, because I'd never been really in sales. I was like a government official, like I was in China, right? You come here, you start from beginning. It was, pretty good time and pretty hard working time. It's great memories.
Did sales was something that came naturally to you as well? Or?
I think sales is probably comes natural to everybody.
Okay.
Really, like if you look at doctors, accountant, and everybody is sales, right?
Okay.
So you have to actually tell people what you're good at. That's a selling skill. So I never knew in China, I never knew I could sell. But when I pick up that job, I thought, I think one of the things I know, I think is if you got no choices, you just have to discover your talent you never really realized you have. So when I come to this country without the language, I never knew I can work in a restaurant. But I quit my job. I was not very good at that.
Oh, is it?
And when I started selling like insurance and the cosmetics, I thought, wow, I could sell.
Okay.
And since I never look back, right now I'm still probably the best salesperson I think I can be.
Yeah.
Yes,
you probably sell like the biggest items now. So like,
from like $2 like a floppy disks to like a $20 million houses. And it's the same skill. When I came to Sydney in 1992, I couldn't get a job anywhere. I tried to apply for like as a shop assistant, and they said no. And I tried to apply for a receptionist at some of the, one of the council. They said no. I just couldn't get a job. So I knew a friend I met back in China many years ago, and he was running a company. They're selling floppy disks. I said, look, is there any chance I can get a job from you? I said, yeah, I think, just do you a favor. I went and worked with him. And actually, I could sell, and I didn't know nothing about floppy disks, right? So if you're sales, you almost can sell everything. I worked with him for some time, but obviously, because, the company is really small, it's only one person, and I couldn't get enough, right? From Monday to Fridays. I said, oh, what about if I took some of your stock and selling on the weekends? So selling on the weekends become like a phenomenal, but I had only one product. So I have to borrow from different shops, right? So I had to borrow from these shops called, at the time they called themselves like Aroma Computers at the Surrey Hills. Surrey Hills in Sydney, it's a little corner shop there. Okay. I have to borrow some of the, like consumer goods like keyboards, mouse, because if you go on the weekend, if you're only selling one product, so it's boring. If people don't buy, they don't buy. So I did so well. I was like, okay, let me sell like keyboards, mouse, and copy holders. Yeah. I did really well with this company, right? And so the floppy disk company closed down. I asked for this guy. His name is Hong. I said, yeah, Hong, I borrowed so much stock from you. I don't have a job from Monday to Friday. Do you mind if I come and work for you? And he said, oh, okay, it seems like, you're good sales. And I got a job from this guy. I eventually married him. But anyway,
right. Okay.
Yeah. So, I worked Monday to Friday in his job, and weekend we're still selling at the market. The company doing really well. And one stage, I was like 36 at the time. He was single. And, this is really funny. He said, oh, Monica, you come and work for me. I pay you like $300 a week.
Okay.
But anything you sell, I give you 10% of the commission.
Okay.
So I ended up like making a first commission of $4,000
That's nice.
in a month.
Yeah.
And he said, you know what? Let's keep the money in the company. Let's get married. And that's how I got married with this guy for about 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we grew that company from a corner shop to international company. I will have office in New Zealand, Hong Kong, China, and this is a multi-million dollar company. So I'm still a partner in the company, but no, because my relationship based with my ex-husband is probably from the business. So we didn't have time to talk about love, spiritual, and the rest. Everything is about business. That's why we did really, really well. And 12 years later, I think maybe myself, instead of business, I want to grow a little bit differently. So we kind of like grow apart. But our foundation is still there in business. I thought, oh my God, maybe we're not best couple in terms of marriage, but we can be a business partner, right? So since today, so we've been divorced for about over 12 years now, but we're still like very close in terms of business. I came from China. I've never been like corporate trained. I've never been really, I'm just a salesperson. You give me a product, I sell. But I really don't understand in terms of management. And me and my ex-husband, we're running a family business. So everything is he's an amazing operator, but I'm best in sales. So I think we're golden couple or golden partners in terms of business, right? So everything is in here. So we didn't have a system, but we did use like MYOB, but I know nothing about that. And we're just like, everything is more like a family business. But when the business is getting very big, so you have to learn. You always have to learn. You never like stay where you are because of course at the time we work so hard and we're cash very positive. So we're off. But I never stop. But when company turns from a family business to a corporation, that's a lot of challenge for me as well to learn. So that's how I employ a corporate tiger. Like somebody from other companies. I actually employed somebody from Panasonic at the time to come and help us to grow the business. Yeah, you always have to learn. Yeah, I was a bit struggling of learning a corporate. I'm more like a street smart, right? Yeah. And learning corporate, the management operations is really a big challenge for me.
Did you say you have a lot of influences growing up in China? Like, were your parents also like running their own businesses? Or?
No, my parents, I think, people could ask, it must be in your gene, right? I think probably my grandfather. Okay. So my grandfather was a true entrepreneur. I say was one of the wealthiest, most successful businessmen in our province. If we're talking about province, in China, it's big, right? Yeah. He was very famous, and probably not in my mom's, generation. My mom's generation is big. It's a lost generation because it's Cultural Revolution and communists took over. I think they're a bit lost. It's not, nobody's in business, right? But my dad was a teacher. My mom is more working for like a school teacher as well. And no, nothing in business. But in my grandfather, yes, he was a businessman. Must be from him. Okay, so grateful. It's from the genes, from the grandfather. Must be in the genes.
And then you're just like a bit of a natural salesperson, so good at sales. Which part of China did you come from?
I come from Guizhou. Okay. So Guizhou province is nobody knows where is that. It's southwest of China. So you must know Sichuan, right? The spicy food. Yes. And it must be Yunnan, with the beautiful stone. What is it? Stone valley, stone forest. Yeah. Like beautiful place. And Guizhou is very famous for Maotai. If you drink, Maotai, the very strong alcohol is actually very famous. Drink. So that's where I came from.
Did you grow up with Maotai?
I grew up, I didn't. When I grew up, I was very poor, so we didn't have Maotai. Okay. Maotai, you're talking about like, I don't know, $600-700 US a bottle or something. But yeah, I have a bit of taste of Maotai, Okay.
Do you like it? Is it strong or?
I wouldn't say I like it, but I don't mind. Yeah, it's a pride of my province. So I didn't really like alcohol drink, but I love it. Right? It's just a pride of my province. Yeah. Okay.
Alright, and obviously now you've got Black Diamonds property, which it's catering to like the luxury market and especially like Chinese clients. So you've obviously grown this company quite well as well. So you've grown the first company really well. You've grown the second company really well.
Yeah, extremely well.
Yeah. So what worked really well for you and what didn't along the way?
I think I learned so much from my the last business, right? Also, it's my current business. It's called Laser Corporation. So I actually in 2007. So because of my marriage, different directions, but I still maintain, just go back once or twice a year, just look at what's happening there. But I didn't like that corporate environment anymore because I'm more like so I know everybody, how many times you married. So do you need a dishwasher in your house? Or can I buy you something, because your babies have a birthday? But when you have a corporate, you check with so many people, right? You lost a bit of contact with people. But again, if the company has to grow, you has to go in that direction. So in 2007, my marriage is gone, but I know the company is a good hand with my ex-husband. So I had my personal assistant now for 23 years now. I give her some share of the company. I also give some share of the people. Remember I mentioned I employ from Panasonic, 10% of my company share. So I kind of like let your guys run the business. I step back. And I spent about 2 years in retirement, lots of shoppings, travelings and stuff like that. But I just think, I'm born with a purpose. It's not just like shopping and having fun. I really think I can do something like valuable, right? At the end of 2007, so we divorced, and I was pretty much by myself looking after my daughter. I lost a lot of kilos, right? So I met my new husband. So he had a passion for real estate. So okay, let's start a new business.